into the UFC and won a majority of them. So I felt like when I got there, I really deserved to be there. And like I said, I wasn't going to be anybody's stepping stone. I worked way too hard to get there.
Yeah.
And I wasn't just going to come in there and let some, not that I have anything against the reality show guys. but
man.
Here it goes.
the UFC kind of made a bit of a star out of Ed Herman.
And
I wasn't going to go in there and be a stepping stone to make him a more popular fighter. You know, I was going in there with my own agenda, and that was show everybody that I belong.
And we were actually just talking about that right before you guys came. Was Ed Herman? I mean, his record was either perfect or close to perfect before he even got there. And then he came in there and he got in there with
heavy favorite, man.
Yeah,
you took out the heavy favorite. Twice.
Yeah.
Soon to be 3 times. Wow. Soon to be 3 times.
I guess we can't talk about anything right now. No rumor talk here on Cage Talk.
It's all fact.
It's all facts. So, well, yeah, man. I mean, you've made a great entrance into the UFC, and I mean, we're I give you all the respect in the world. Are you you're down here training at Jackson's camp right now? Are you a new implant?
I'm definitely a guest right now. I come from Canada, from Alberta, Canada, and up there we just don't have the concentration of great athletes like Greg has over at his gym right now. So, it's an opportunity for me to come down and get ready for my next fight and be surrounded with top level UFC guys.
Yeah. Well, just to let you know, all the great Canadians come down here because GSP was just down here training not too long ago. Yep. And I think Rashad actually beat him up and hurt his knee while they were training because he had to pull out of his next fight.
Well, you can't deny what's going on down here at Jackson's. I mean, look at Rashad, look at Nate, look at Keith,
Diego Sanchez.
Diego Sanchez. George was down here preparing for Hughes. He's now wearing the belt. So, you can't deny the great things that Greg's doing over there, and I'm honored to be down here and busting my ass.
Yeah, I was surprised when they told me you were coming over. I was like, oh man, send him down. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
So Rashad, is it true?
What's that?
Did you hurt his knee?
No, actually he was in on the shot, and he just slipped on some sweat.
Okay.
And I was fat. And it kind of hurt his knee, but it was because I was fat I hurt his knee.
I just want a couple more quick questions for both you guys, actually. First of all, for Jason, just real quickly, I know we're kind of running short on time, but could you give us just a bit of a rundown on just the history of your pro career and how it led you, besides just beating up a bunch of guys, how did it lead you to the UFC?
Well, I mean, I started out in a show in Canada, one of the bigger shows in Canada called the Maximum Fighting Championship. I, fought probably my first 10 fights in that organization, fought some, blazed through the light heavyweight competition in Canada. And then really at that time, the light heavyweight division there was nowhere to go. It was consumed with Randy and Chuck and Tito. So I decided to make the jump down to middleweight. Had a couple big wins at middleweight, took out UFC veteran Joe Dirksen, took out Gideon Ray. Had a couple of close fights. I had a 5-round war with Pt2.
Oh, wow.
So all the guys on the show.
Yeah, so here it comes. I got a vendetta against them guys. So I just
he's in the right place.
Right here.
I got lots of love for Rashad, though.
Oh,
so
he's a tough killer. He calls himself the tough killer.
So I like to say that I fought my way into the UFC. A lot of guys come from other camps and they ride the coattails of guys into UFC.
Sure.
You see that a lot of the Miletich camp, and no disrespect to them, they're great, but some guys get in because of the other guys are doing well, and I like to look at it, I fought my way into the UFC, and I deserve to be there, and now everybody knows that.
Cool. And last question for you guys. Are you, without going too into detail about it, you're fighting again in a few months, right?
Yeah, I'm I don't know if it's officially been announced, but I'm slated to fight on 68, UFC 68 in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, cool. And also, could you guys just real quick run us through just a basic day of training? Just how many times a day do you train, and what do you guys do? Do you break it up into grappling and striking and then conditioning or weightlifting, or how do you guys do that?
It all depends. What your goal is for the fight, but what I do is I wake up in the morning, I get some mitts in with our kickboxing coach, Mike Winklejohn, and then I may have a private session with Greg Jackson going over some grappling techniques, and then about 2.5 hours later we have a team practice, and that usually goes for about 3 hours, and that's basically it. And some days after all of that we do a little kickboxing. So
what about the sprints up at the Sandias?
Well, we don't want to talk about that.
The secret weapon.
That right there is not a fun day. I mean, that usually happens on Sunday, and coach gets real excited. You don't know why he's excited
Because he doesn't have to do it.
and then he tells you that we got to go to the crest.
I think anybody that has done sports, high school sports, I can relate to that. I was a jock back in high school, and the coaches get off on that, man.
Oh, he loves
it.
it.
They running hills, man.
No,
they get off on it.
hold on. They're sprinting at the top of the mountain.
Jesus.
It's 12,000. 12,000 feet, and then they have to carry each other. They have to sprint up the hill with another guy in their arms.
That's ruthless.
Like firemen
Unreal,
carry.
man.
Just back to that training question too is that if you'll hear guys, other professional fighters say they train in 8 hours a day.
That's what you hear all the time.
Yeah, if a guy's training 8 hours a day, he's not training hard then, because your body just can't. You can't train at that. You can't train hard for 8 hours a day, regardless of how much rest you're getting.
Right.
If you're in the gym and working hard, you're training. 4 hours at the most a day, and that's with your conditioning and everything.
4 hours a day, and you break it up. You break it up a little bit. Do a little in the morning, a little in the afternoon, or however.
Yeah,
it's 4 hours is pretty much. You feel like.
Yeah, if you're working hard, then I mean that's max.
Right on.
You can't be in there putting out 100% for 8 hours a day. It's just people can't do that.
Right on.
Nice. All right.
Well, I think we should stand up and big round of applause.
Yes.
our first
show. Yeah, there you go, man.
Cage Talk number 1.
Cage Talk 1.
Jason MacDonald, Rashad Evans, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
You guys make sure you watch on Spike TV Fight Night 8. It's going to be on this coming Thursday night, Spike TV. Rashad Evans, Sean Sam in the main event. It's going to be off the chain.
Rashad sent him to heaven, Evans.
No, come on, man.
Come on, brother.
It's Sugar Rashad.
Oh, wow.
What is it?
Sugar Rashad.
Rashad. Okay.
Rashad.
I like it. That's good,
All right.
man. That's good. All right.
All
Well,
right, guys.
we'll see you guys next Thursday for another edition of Cage Talk.
Yep.
All right.
It's in the